Hotep Senu. Hotep Senu and Senut Itir and Ishakandu Kemet. I hope you're doing well. Let me check the sound. Beautiful. We already have one thumbs up. Hit that like button, brothers and sisters. I'm so glad to share this video with you. The title of this video is The First Egyptologist Was an African Kemetic Priest. Yes, you read correctly. I'm going to source up a good brother. That was what I'm talking about not long ago. We talked about Egyptology. A brother told me Egyptology is not an African science, and I said, well, this evening I have a live stream about that. You will see. So there it is. Peace, Sister Aya. Oh, I'm gonna add this link. Do I still have the stuff copied? Yes. I'm just gonna add this link as I usually do. Back then on YouTube, you had video responses, but now I just put a comment and I pinned the comment. So I go there. Yeah, with me, we have time. We're gonna let the people come in. So glad to share this with this, but share this with this. I'm sorry. So good. I'm so glad to share this information with you, brothers and sisters. How many people do we have now? Only 8. Ayadela wrote, "You look like my family, bro, Shaka." How many thumbs up do we have? Only 3. Oh, you can do better than these, brothers and sisters. We have 10 people watching, and there's only 3. Okay, 4. That's better. Come on, hit that like button. 5, good. Come on, we have 11 people watching. 5 thumbs up. We can do more than that, but it's okay. I'm gonna start. So in the chat, I share this article entitled "The Death in Saqqara" by Dr. Joanne Fletcher. Some of you might have seen it. Seen her on TV. As you can see, this article is hosted on the BBC website. British Broadcasting Corporation. It's not pseudo. Last updated February 17, 2011. Gonna make this larger. And you can see it says the first Egyptologist. What's up to you, brother Big? Yes, it says the first Egyptologist on the BBC website. Kemwese, the first Egyptologist. Although the best known ancient Egyptians are usually pharaohs and queens, one of the most intriguing character one of the most intriguing characters was a prince. Well, I don't think there should be an S there. The fourth son of King Ramesses II. King Ramesses II is one of the most famous pharaoh. But little did we know that his fourth son has been labeled as the first Egyptologist. Well, someone like Herodotus, who has the title the father of history, but we never heard Kaim West, which is really Kaim Waset, Chaim Waset or Kaim Waset. We never heard, the father of Egyptology, but it's okay. The first Egyptologist is nice enough, is good enough for me. I wrote strange, but I was told a Cuban Babalao that if I stay there, I have Haitian ancestors in my dad's side. Sak pase, na boule ki jan ouye, nou la, Haiti chéri, mwen remen. Gen tro problem Haiti kounya. Mwen espere bagay yo ka chanje. So, Ramesses II indeed is one of the most famous pharaoh, and his fourth son is the first Egyptologist. So, that fourth son of King Ramesses II was by one of his chief wives called Iset Nofret. Now, it's really Aset Neferet, but it's okay. So when you're familiar with the Meta Nature, you can tell, you can dissect the names. So Kaemwese, as they wrote it there, circa 1285 to 1224 BC, was an influential figure in life. Is it sharing here? Yes, it is. Hey, Chris MVP Harris, you seen that title? The first Egyptologist was an African Kemetic priest. A lot of people are going to be quiet. All those people will say, well, yeah, the white people, European people gave you Egyptology. So I've shared the link to this article. Where David wrote, peace, I guess he meant to write, to you, beautiful black sisters and brothers. And I'm sure that this live stream is worthy of you sharing it with your contact brothers and sisters. Tell them here, we have some interesting and accurate scholarship. Feel free to invite them to join us. For a while, he was heir apparent until he predeceased his long-lived father. He also gained a reputation for learning and magic, which lasted for more than 1,000 years. Okay, that's the reputation, making him the ideal central character in the story of Death in Saqqara. His name translated variously as Kamwese, Kaemwese, Kaemwise, Kaemwaset, is written with the three hieroglyph symbols featured at various points in the game. I don't know what they put in the game. The sunrise symbol pronounced Ha, the owl M. We've seen the owl together, brothers and sisters. Even if you never took any class with me, you know, we addressed it quite a few times. The how we go through it during the classes, the Medu Nature classes, that is. For those who want to learn the Medu Nature, you have my email address in the description of this video, so feel free to contact me. And the scepter like sign was here pronounced YC. Although his name actually means manifest in Thebes, the religious capital in the south of Egypt, Hamwese seems to have spent most of his life at the ancient capital Memphis in the north. For those who don't know, Menefer, called Memphis by the Greeks, is what the US town is named after. I wonder if some people are going to say, well, the American government they does some Egyptomanias because they name a city Memphis. Did you know, brothers and sisters, that there was a city called Paris in America? Nobody's going to say, well, these guys are French maniacs. If I'm not mistaken, there is a city called Rome in America as well. I'm going to double check for Rome. So Paris is in Texas, and Rome is in Georgia. It's the largest city in the county seat of Floyd County, Georgia. MacMoney has joined us. I hope this is about Imhotep. Um, did you mean to write? I hope this is not about a Sahim or fake. But this is not about the fake linguist, the fake historian, no. Uh, but if you're asking about Imhotep during the time of the Nesu Geser, it is not about the multi-genius Imhotep. It's about the first Egyptologist being an African Kemetic priest. Big wrote Death in Saqqara, a video game. I didn't know that. Yes, indeed, it's on the BBC website. That's what I am reading from, and I have shared the link in the chat. And Bust Up seems to be familiar with Rome from Georgia. Well, uh, Big says that there's also a Rome in New York. I didn't know that. No problem at all, Money. Feel free to interact, brothers and sisters. Will not be like yesterday. Yesterday was much longer than I expected because I guess I wanted to interact with the chat so I don't end up with like 100 comments. But anyway, it's what's done is done. Because um, the last stream lasted for 5 hours, but uh, in a nutshell, we had a overview of the methodology of linguistic acrobatics and linguistic gymnastics that has lasted for over a decade. So Jason Edwards says, been telling people the people of Kemet did archaeology. Well, we're gonna have a look in details. Oh, we have 18 people now, so let me see how many thumbs ups we have. We have 10 so far. Well, maybe we can do better than these, brothers and sisters. And honestly, I don't mind if some people want to give a donation. I really don't mind. I would not be mad at you. Born around 1285 BC, He was well educated during his childhood and teenage years and chose a career in the clergy. As a priest of Ptah, the creator god of Memphis, he rose through the ranks, working as a Sem priest, a junior rank of priest, and eventually becoming high priest by around the age of 30. So, not only the first Egyptologist was a Kemetic priest, but he was actually a high priest. Sister Aya says that she will make a donation through PayPal. I appreciate. Thank you in advance. PayPal is always better, brothers and sisters, because the super chat and super sticker they take 30%. But it's good also because people can see that some people are actually donating, and it can encourage other people to donate as well. So yes, not only the first Egyptologist was a Kemetic priest, but he was actually a high priest. And one information here, and bear in mind, this article is authored by a PhD, a female PhD. We're told that it was around the age of 30 that he became a high priest. Some people might think or even argue that because he was the son of Ramesses II, because he was the son of a king, and maybe, they allowed him to bypass a few years. But you probably heard many people say that it took 40 years for people to become priests in ancient Egypt. And I think not long ago I talked about this statement and said that I haven't I've not came across any reference for that yet. There's so many things that people say, not only about Kemet, but um, that is not necessarily substantiated. So it's good to take that into account. All right, let's continue. His priestly duties gave him access to the finest temple libraries in Egypt, and as he states himself, he was never happier than when reading the works of earlier times. Yet, there was also a practical purpose to such antiquarian research, and by finding out about Egypt's previous 1800-year history, he could reflect past glories onto the current pharaoh, his father Ramesses II. Kamwes's knowledge of the past also inspired him to study the monuments all around him at Memphis and his nearby cemetery at Saqqara, a vast necropolis of tombs and temples already over 1,000 years old, dominated by the Great Step Pyramid of Djoser circa 2650 BC. It even attracted tourists in Kamwes's day. So we had tourists circa 1200 BC. 3,000 years ago, we had tourists in Kemet. Some of whom left appreciative graffiti recording their visit. Yet, with many of these ancient buildings in states of varying disrepair or ruin beneath Saqqara's drifting sands, my bad, Kamwese began a program of restoration because he loved to restore the monuments of kings and make firm again what had fallen into ruin. I think this is a quote from a book that I will show you after I finish with this article and after I show you the credentials of the scholar that I'm quoting right now. The finished tombs and temples were then inscribed with the name of the monument's original owner, the name of the current pharaoh, Ramesses II, and a brief description of the work carried out. Inscriptions which have been described as the largest museum labels in history. Kayamwese also carried out work at Giza, restoring the Great Pyramid built by Khufu around 2580 BC. You know, when I was talking about the pyramids of the Giza Plateau, I've been telling people that it is between 2400 and 2200 BC. But if we have 2580 BC, does it mean that it was between 2600 and 2400 BC? Let me have a look. Let's see what Britannica says. Well, the entry for Khufu or Khufu says that he lived circa 2500 BC, 2500 to 2400 BC. So doesn't necessarily, well, 2575. Well, at the end of the day, one thing is for sure, scholars are not in exact agreement with the lifetime of uh, certain rulers. So you might have a couple of dozens of years differences. So we're not gonna dwell on that too much. And even undertaking excavations at the site, unearthing a statue of Khufu's son Kawab, he records, it was the high priest and prince Kamwes. It's difficult for me to pronounce it that way, but um, don't be mad at me if I say Haem Waset. So Haem Waset, who was delighted by the statue of the king's son Kawab, which he discovered, placing it in a chapel which seems to have acted as a kind of museum for his discoveries, because he loved the noble ones who dwelt in antiquity before him and the excellence of all they made. This mention of the museum. Oh, well, let me check my email. Yes, Brother Big, I have received your cash app. Thank you very much. Good looking out, brother. Good looking out. Um, the 30%, that's the super chat or super sticker. That's what YouTube take. Jason is asking, is it referring to Sankofa? I'm not sure which part you're asking about. But I'm just reading this article about the first Egyptologist who was the fourth son of Ramses the second. We have 23 people online. Let me see how many thumbs ups. 14 only? Well, we could have 10 more if there's 24 people online, but Big wrote, the beginning of wisdom is calling things by their proper name. So yeah, I stopped because when I read about the mention of museum, some of you might have seen that documentary about um, Marcus Garvey, and if I'm not mistaken, they mentioned that he had a personal collection, and I think they said a personal Egyptian collection. I wonder if some people are going to label Marcus Garvey as an Egyptian maniac. And Nat Turner, you can have a look, but if my memory doesn't fail me, before he put in work, he had a vision and he saw some hieroglyphic symbols, some hieroglyphic signs. I wonder if some people are going to say that Nat Turner was an Egyptomaniac, but I leave it there. Let's continue. So, placing it in a chapel, which seems to have acted as a kind of museum for his discoveries because he loved the noble ones who dwelt in antiquity before him and the excellence of all they made. Yet, Chaim Wasset was not the first to excavate or collect antiquities, and as early as circa 1400 BC, or 1402 BC to be exact, King Thutmose the Fourth, or Jehutimes the Fourth, had excavated the millennium-old Sphinx from the sands of Giza. The next king, Amenhotep the Third, that's Akhenaten's father, circa 1300 BC, had collected ancient artifacts and ordered the restoration of ancient sites. Quotation, after I had found them fallen into disrepair since the days of old. Even Amenhotep's infamous son Akhenaten to have had seems to have had an eye on the past with a 1200-year-old alabaster bowl made for Khafra, builder of Giza's second pyramid, found in his tomb at Amarna. So amazingly, Chaim was not the first to excavate or collect antiquities, because the king Thutmose the Fourth did excavate, and Amenhotep the Third had collected ancient artifacts and also ordered the restoration of ancient sites. Isn't that amazing, brothers and sisters? Bostap wrote, I always felt Egypt wasn't in the physical mm, rhyme. Maybe he meant to write realm. We have 27 people online now. How many thumbs up do we have? 16 only? Well, you can do better than these, brothers and sisters. It just takes a click. Just takes a click. That's all it takes. I can see that our brother Black Egyptian has joined us. It's going to take, there it is. Let's continue. Oh, thank you, Shimon. He wrote, I clicked. Yes, I have 18 thumbs up now. Pastor wrote, Egypt equals spiritual, and Shimon wrote, I clicked. Yeah, just hit that like button, brothers and sisters. We have 27 people online now. Black Egyptian wrote, that Moses dream Stella says he found the Sphinx buried. For those who don't know about the dream Stella, it is kind of between the palms of the Sphinx. Not accessible to the public. Well, not when I went to Kemet 10 years ago. Nevertheless, it is Chaim Wasset with his all-round antiquarian interest who is known as the first Egyptologist. I didn't say it. A PhD said it. Oh, they're going to say I'm appealing to authority. As scholar John Ray has observed, the past fascinated Chaim Wasset, and as a result, Chaim Wasset fascinates Egyptologists who see him as one of their own. Isn't that something? Let's look at her credentials now. We have Mia Lady Scorpion 89 who was asking, when are you going back? Well, it doesn't just depend solely on myself. I have a list of museums around the world, and one of my dreams is just to go to all those museums. But when it comes to Kemet, I really would like to go once the new museum will open. Many people think that it will open this year, towards the end of the year, because it's the 200th anniversary of the, I'm sorry, the 100th anniversary of the discovery of the tomb of Tutankhamun, if I'm not mistaken. Uh, Towards the end of the year will be, and it is also the something to do with Champollion. Like it's been like 200 years since the something to do with Champollion. But that brand new museum called the Grand Egyptian Museum will be the largest archaeological museum in the world, and for the first time, the full Tutankhamun or Tutankhamen treasure will be fully displayed. I mean, the full. I repeated myself, but for the first time, we will have the whole thing. And so I would love to go there and document and share. But as we have seen, for over a decade, the pseudo's been getting, the support. I have over 20,000 subscribers. If people would just, holler with $1 a month, I'll be able to, share the information full time. So think about your brother. Bust Up Road, we were immortal first. I missed a few comments there. Oh, you're from Trinidad and Tobago. Okay. Okay. The patois from the Trini patois seems similar to the Jamaican patois. When I hear Foxy Brown speaking patois, it sounds very similar than Jamaican patois. Black Egyptian wrote he restored it and made it better. And I don't know what AVG stands for, but it says cost to go to Kemet like on a tour. And Big wrote Waheme Mesu, repetition of the birth, Jacob Caruthers, intellectual warfare, aka Sankofa. We have 25 people online. How many thumbs do we have? We have 19. Okay, okay. So if you want me to go to Khmer, brothers and sisters, all it takes is just a very small contribution. Just $1 a month. Just $1 a month I will do. You know, I could share the information full time. But I have to work the 9 to 5. I have to work full time and then after work, then right now it's midnight because I'm in France and I work tomorrow morning. When I say I work tomorrow morning, it's not just the morning that I will work, but I'm gonna wake up tomorrow morning, or this morning actually, to go to work. But anyway, some people are gonna say, "Well, he's begging." Aya wrote, "Well, I just received it, and that's quite a large amount. Thank you very much, sister. It's very kind of you." But brothers and sisters, remember, just $1 a month will do. I'm not saying that I don't want you to send more, but just think about it. $1 a month is $12 a year. And Shimon wrote, "No, our accent is way different, brother. Jamaicans speak something real crazy, Lord. It's harder to understand." But I wouldn't label it crazy, but and that's how it is. Well, France is bordering Belgium, but when people from Belgium speak, the accent is a bit different. Not to say funny, but we understand what they say. Now, another accent from French because it's the one from Canada. Now that one is quite strange. We still understand it, but sometimes we might have to listen with attention or carefully. But like I was saying, it appears to me that it's similar. We have 29 people online right now. How many thumbs ups do we have? 20. Okay, that's good. 20 likes. I like that. I like that. I think it's a fly. So yes, I was going to deal with the credentials. Thank you very much, Sister Aya, for your the donation through PayPal. I appreciate that. It's very kind of you. Very kind of you. And thank you once again, Brother Big. I don't mind the amount that you send. But think about it, brothers and sisters. On PayPal you can set the recurrent uh, donation stuff. So you can just make it so that it's like every month. $1 a month, $12 a year, and then we can get some clarity because there's so many pseudos. And I'm not talking about some people in particular. I've addressed a few people lately, but I've been addressing falsehood for a good 18 years. You know, I haven't just been addressing falsehood. I've shared some information as well. But at some point, you have to put some clarity when people are bringing some false information, inaccurate information, erroneous information. So let's look at the Aya wrote. I will look into that. Thanks. Oh, no problem. No problem. No problem. So yes, let's look at the credential of this female PhD. So I'm going to share this link in the chat, and then I'm going to share my screen. So I think from now on, when I will share links in the chat, I will just not put the titles. It's going to be quicker this way because I've been putting the title when I was sharing a video or when I was sharing an article, and I think from now on, I'm just going to put the link. So here's the link in the chat. Okay, you can see that it says University of New York, Professor Joan Fletcher, Honorary Visiting Professor. Biography: I obtained my first degree in ancient history and Egyptology from University College London in 1987. See, as usual, when people give their credentials, whenever they had some degree or diploma, they will tell you which institution they got it from. But we have some people who tell you that they had some bachelors in history. Others say that they are historians, but we never heard which university they got their qualification from. Followed by a PhD entitled Ancient Egyptian Hair, a study in style, form, and function, which I received from the University of Manchester in 1996. As honorary research fellow at the University of New York, I teach ancient Egyptian funerary archaeology as part of the archaeology degree course and designed the first nationally available GCSE equivalent level 2 qualification in Egyptology on behalf of the educational body Central. Now here you can see an overview of her research. So she says that over the last 15 years, she has studied human remains across the world, from the UK and Ireland to Egypt and the Yemen, Peru, Chile, Italy, and the Canary Islands. And see the different projects that she has: the Egyptian collection of Harrogate Museums and Arts, the Egyptian collection of Wakefield MDC Cultural Services, the Egyptian collection of Hall and East reading museums, the Egyptian collection of the Hancock Museum, Newcastle, the Yemeni Mummy Project with Sana University, the Irish Bug Bodies Project with National Museum of Ireland, Dublin, the Peruvian mummies of Bolton Museum, and ceremonial jewelry of 18th dynasty pharaohs with Earl Ert, Ert, Ertman, Akron University. Then we have different publications of hers. I'm not going to just read the whole thing. Here we have teaching. She's teaching undergraduate World Archaeology 1, Mummification, first year undergrad, and World Archaeology 2, Mummification, second year underground, and external activity, the different membership that she has, you know. And she designed the first Egyptian archaeology model for the University of York's undergraduate archaeology degree course in 2006. All right. And, invited talks and conferences. All right. Then some people like Wikipedia. Um, Shimon wrote, just donated. Thanks for your efforts, brother. Let me have a look. Yes, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm really honored. I'm really honored. Um, I don't usually receive so many donations. There was a time back then when I would get quite a fair bit of super chat, and that has stopped. And I'm happy that you appreciate my work, brothers and sisters. We have 21 people online right now, and I'm really honored and appreciative. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Because that lets me know that you really appreciate the work. Because there's a saying that goes, people put their money where their mouth is. So thank you very much for that, brothers and sisters. I appreciate that. Um, so yes, there's also a Wikipedia page. Sorry. So I'm just going to for whatever Wikipedia is worth. You know, so I've shared the link here, and I'm not going to read the entry on Wikipedia, but just scroll through it. You see. So that's her career. Now, Queen Nefertiti, there's a documentary, and you might be able to find it on YouTube. There was a little bit of controversy. She was banned for a while from going to Egypt, but the ban was lifted and she returned to Egypt later on. Okay. And here we have the television and radio appearances. Okay. So there's quite a fair bit. So those are just selected works. So she might have more publication. Now, what I will share right now is another mention or label of Ha'em was said as a, did they say also first Egyptologist? Yes. So let me unshare this. The link is a bit long, but anyway, there it is. Cambridge.org. We have 26 people online right now. I'm going to have a look at how many thumbs ups we have so far. 21. Well, it's been a while. We had 20. We only had one within like maybe 5 minutes or so, but it's okay. So we can see that this is Cambridge University Press. It's not Alice in Wonderland publication, where pseudos write their text. Now, summary. Chapter 1, The Prehistory of Egyptology, published online by Cambridge University Press, June 1st, 2021. And it says the first to take an interest in ancient Egypt were, of course, the ancient Egyptians themselves. Prince Haemwaset, fourth son of Ramesses II, or Ramesu, and high priest of Ptah at Memphis, is often held to have been the first Egyptologist. All right. So now I'm going to share his statue from the British Museum. Ayadera wrote, and the others might be trolls or the pseudos peeping through the bushes. Well, I have noticed that since I addressed a few people lately, particularly when I started addressing the guy who claims to have a bachelor's degree in history, I will have like a dozen more people than usual. So I think they will realize that I'm not really planning on, addressing the dude so often like that, unless I hear that he says something scandalous. His debate is back in the program, so he's gonna have the opportunity to demonstrate all that talk he was doing, and it is what it is. So that's the link to the British Museum. All right. Now let me share my screen. There it is. So we have the museum number on the left. Do they give any date for the statue? Production date circa 1260 BC. I don't know why they have circa twice, but nobody's perfect. Now this is from Asyut, of course, from Africa, Egypt. It's funny because they put Africa, Egypt, and then Middle. Okay, no, I read too quick. I thought they were going to write Middle East, Middle Egypt. Okay, and so period 19th dynasty, and this is the museum number EA947. So we have the statue right there. It's a very nice quality because you can zoom in all the way and it will still look good. Now, for those who take the Medu Nature classes, oh, I cannot zoom further. Oh, what a shame. It might appear a bit small here, but here. Now, this is the duck here, and here we have the sun disk. So you should know how to read that. It's a rare case where we don't have honorific inversion. Then we have the basket without the handle. So this is the biliteral. Then we have the here with the rays of the sun behind it. So by itself, that's Ha'i. And with the plural stroke, with the plural strokes, it becomes Ha'u. Okay? So you should be able to read the sequence right there. Now, this looks like Imen. This is like basically Ra, Mesu, Meri, Imen. Now, this is an unusual order of reading. Now, it looks like we have the throne here. We have the eye. Certainly, we have the eye and the seated person with the beard. So I think this is a throne, so that will give us Usir. But anyway, that's just in passing. Now on the back we have his name. Now this is a side view, and we have some glyphs on the side. I mean, it's amazing. We have glyphs at the front, on the side, and at the back many times. Now something happened. It probably was damaged, and then they glued it back together or something, But so here's the back, and his name is right there. It doesn't really look like it here, but this is the glyph that we've seen earlier, the glyph of um the here with the rays of the sun behind it. So that's Ha, that's the owl, so that's M, and that's the scepter, Was. So probably we have the loaf of bread somewhere, but we can see that underneath it is damaged. So Ha M Waset, that's his name. It's not anonymous, contrary to the Nefertiti bust. Now here we have the vulture with the arched back, and then we have the loaf of bread in the front, and it's placed on the front in the front, like for the sake of symmetry, so it can fit inside that invisible block. So this is Mut. You should know what Mut means, okay? But anyway, I'm going to spend too much time there. McMoney wrote, "They got that nose looking pointy." Well, in the book that I will quote, it talks about what was the term used? If I go up, idealized portrait. And before I forget, I'm going to show. We have 28 people online right now. That's page 84 of the book Reflections of Osiris, but I will show you the credentials of that scholar. So it says an idealized portrait of Prince Chaim Wisse, that's the way he wrote his name, showing him with the conventional lock of youthful hair, which was an emblem of the Setem priest. Relief from one of the prince's monument at Saqqara. See, talking about hair, we have the Gardiner reference. Is it D3? It is D3, isn't it? It's D3, which is a determinative for hair, skin, and color. And our brother Netaneb, who is studying linguistics formally, has put in work and put an end to the argument of some special brothers who have exotical claims. So it's game over for their argument because the historian slash linguist slash so many other things, he said that, if people can put up the term can with that determinative, then it ends the argument. Life is ironic sometimes. So Aya wrote it could be the camera making the nose look that way. Oh, I don't think so. Now we have 24 people online. How many thumbs up do we have? 23. That's what I'm talking about. That's good. Now we have 24 now. People come and go. You might have five that leaves and 10 that comes, 10 that leaves and five that comes. Now here's the book that I want you to be aware of. Chat. Hey, Imhotep 360. Did you see that beautiful title? The first Egyptologist was an African Kemetic priest. A lot of people are going to be upset. What's this thing here? Reflections of Osiris Lives from Ancient Egypt. When was it released? 2002. Publisher Oxford University Press. Now, you can have some preview. See, whenever it says look inside, and I want you to have a look at a particular chapter from this book. So, oh, the author is John Ray, by the way. I don't know if you remember what I was reading earlier when I was saying that we have the eye and it looked like the throne and then the seated person with the beard. Well, this is actually the name Usir or Asir that the Greeks called Osiris. There it is, contents. Egypt's Leonardo Imhotep, circa 2650 BC. But what I want you to see is number 5, chapter 5. What does it say? The first Egyptologist, Chaim Wisse, circa 1258 to 1225 BC. And it's on page 78. The author has dedicated a whole chapter about the first Egyptologist. Isn't that something? Now we're going to look at his credentials. Imhotep 360 wrote, I sure do, family. And Aya wrote, even black Hollywood actors have been complaining for years about the camera makes them look fatter, darker, thinner, lighter, etc. I see. I see. I don't think it will be the same for museums, but it might be. It might be, but I think it's more to do that with the fact that we have some idealized depiction sometimes. And I'm talking about what was said earlier. So let's look at the credentials of John Ray. Well, first, let me share the link. Share the link here. I'm going to share my screen. The British Academy, Professor John Ray. Current post, Emeritus Herbert Thompson Professor of Egyptology, University of Cambridge. Past appointments. That's the same university, Cambridge. Lecture in Egyptology from the University of Birmingham. Here we have his publications. Now, many people prefer Wikipedia. So, or whatever Wikipedia is worth. I've shared the link in the chat and we can just have an overview. Then I would take questions and answers because I'm going to finish soon. John D. Ray, John David Ray, born December 22nd, 1945, is a British Egyptologist and academic. He is the current Sir Herbert Thompson Professor of Egyptology at the University of Cambridge. His principal field of interest covers the late and Hellenistic periods of Egypt with special reference to documents in the Demotic script, and is also known for deciphering the Carian script, a writing system used by Anatolian mercenaries who fought for the late period Egyptians. Academic career. Following his graduation from university, Ray spent some of 1970 working at the British Museum as a research assistant in the Department of Egyptian Antiquities. He then joined the University of Birmingham, where he was a lecturer in Egyptology from 1970 to 1977. In 77, he joined the University of Cambridge as a reader in Egyptology. In 1979, he was elected a fellow of Selwyn College in addition to his university post. He was promoted to professor and appointed to the Sir Herbert Thompson Chair in Egyptology in 2005. He retired in 2013 and was appointed professor emeritus. He is actually married to a Church of England priest, a female priest. So he has two publications: Reflections of Osiris, Lives from Ancient Egypt, and The Rosetta Stone and the Rebirth of Ancient Egypt. So uh, it's safe to say that he's official. Aye wrote, no doubt Africans come in many, if not all, phenotypes. Now, before I just take callers, if people want to call or just answer messages in the chat, if there is some participation, let me see if there's any quote from the chapter that I would like to share with you. Oh, hold on, I'm going too far here. Let me go back down. So, okay, this one I will share. Yeah, this one will do. This one will do anyway. This one will do. So, I'm going there. Oh, snap. New document. Oh, come on. What the heck? Um, oh, that's where it is. New document is here. Ignore. And now I'm going to share one quote. Hey, Pan African designs in apparel and apparel. Hope you're doing well, brother. Did you get to see how Netanyahu has put an end to the two dudes' argument? Game over. Reflections of Osiris, Lives from Ancient Egypt by Dr. John Ray, page 82. The past fascinated Chaim Wisse or Chaim Wasset, and as a result, Chaim Wasset fascinates Egyptologists who see him as one of their own. Although so far there is no popular work devoted to him, the truth is complex, but the title can stand. To us, he is the first Egyptologist, and although there is no ancient Egyptian word for Egyptologist, it is a concept that this scholarly prince would have recognized. I wonder if some people are going to say that John Ray is an Afrocentric. All right, I will leave this one here on the screen anyway. Brothers and sisters, it's 1 a.m. So if you want to have some interaction with me, then by all means, do it now. I'm not going to wait for 15 minutes, half an hour, or an hour. If you want to get on the panel, I've shared the link as I usually do. And if for whatever reason you don't want to show your face, so just use the chat. But I don't mind taking questions and reading comments. Any observation? How do you feel, brothers and sisters? How do you feel? Oh, you're welcome, brother Mac Money. How do you feel knowing now that the first Egyptologist was a Kemetic priest? Isn't that something? Big road, great chair. I like that chair. I like that. I really like that one. I really like that one. It's a nice one. Whenever somebody's gonna say, "Well, you got Egyptology bro, from Champollion, you got Egyptology from the Europeans," boom, in your face. McMoney wrote, "That's nice to know. I'm running with that like gospel." I don't really know what about it means here. Aya wrote, "That was quite interesting. I love that one." H.M. Wasset, the first Egyptologist, was a Kemetic priest, high priest actually. We have common Sidefex. You brothers have some very creative names, but let's say Bess. MacMoney wrote, "You gave us all the receipts," and Aya wrote, "Shaka, please keep it coming." Well, actually, I have another quote for tomorrow from the same author, but it's just a short quote. It's just a short quote, so tomorrow might be a day where I will kind of rest and maybe try to get some time to read a little bit more that I wish I would. But don't be shy, brothers and sisters. You know, we have 20 people on, well, 21 people online now. Uh, if you want to get on the panel to say what's up, I don't, 25 likes, I like that. If you want to say what's up, if you want to say, I like your work. If you want to come on the panel and say, I don't like your work, I don't mind, No, I don't mind. I like the interaction. I have a little bit of time right now, but I'm going to get to bed soon because once again, it's 1 a.m. But I'm very glad to have shared that. I'm in good mood. I really feel fly. So if you want to holler at me, take advantage. We have 23 people online. And you're free to address anything that I said yesterday, 2 days ago, 2 weeks ago, 2 months ago, 2 years ago, 10 years ago. I don't mind. And for those who arrived recently, if you want to be generous, you have the PayPal, paypal.me/maad forever. You have the link in the description of this video. You also have the Cash App, $ maad forever. Or you can use the super chat or super sticker directly on the chat on YouTube, even though they take 30%. But, your message will be emphasized or highlighted or put in evidence and do as you please. I've received quite a few donations during this live stream, and I'm very grateful. It encourages me, but I also like the interaction, brothers and sisters. But by all means, if you prefer making donations than doing the interaction, I'm not going to complain. But you will not go wrong with the information that I share with you, and if I happen to be wrong, I won't have a problem saying it. I have in the past. So, I'm not like certain people who will rather go to the grave rather than admit it, something they have said or shared, it was not accurate. You know, one of the things that bothers me the most, honestly, in the so-called conscious community is the claim that the Medunet chair has not been deciphered. That's what bothers me the most, and it's a shame I couldn't get to speak to Walter Williams when I got on the panel because he left shortly after I got on the panel on Sanetta's studio. But it is what it is. I mean, it will be of great service if Walter Williams will review his 20-year-old claim. I think the book was first published in 1992, but anyway, it is what it is. Well, it looks like you're shy, brothers and sisters, and maybe some of you are tired as well. So there's been no callers and no more comments for a little while. So I want to say once again, thank you very much for the donations. Thank you for being there. Thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you for the comments. I appreciate that. And Remember, brothers and sisters, I've been doing this for 18 years. So I've been consistent. So try to consider, making a contribution of $1 a month, which is $12 a year. If enough of you do that, then I'll be able to share the information, if not full time, then part time, but I would love to share and answer questions more regularly. You see, Aya wrote, bro, I put red, black, and green and yellow hearts, but the red heart doesn't show on the screen. It comes out as a small black heart. Why? I really don't know. I really don't know, but it's okay. It's okay. Where are you located, Aya? If I'm not mistaken, you are in the States. Yes, consider this, brothers and sisters, on PayPal, you can set up that recurrent payment with just $1 a month, $12 a year. Now, if you want to contribute with more than that, I'm fine with it, but just $1 will do. You are from NYC. Okay. Yeah. There's a couple of museums in New York that I would like to visit, and then plenty of other museums in several different cities in America. I don't know when that will happen, but I will try to go to as many places as possible. I still have a few videos from several museums in different countries in Europe, and I might start uploading them again. Unfortunately, they don't get many views when I put them up. So I was thinking that maybe, if I live stream a little bit more and get a few more subscribers who are definitely interested with Kemet, then once I will upload those videos, they will have more attention. Now, Aya wrote, I will check at PayPal recurring payment. I appreciate that, sister. Um, Now, Bess wrote, give thanks, brother, for the time putting on the information. I will be donating. I appreciate that. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. What was I saying earlier? Yeah, I feel like it's a waste when I go abroad and film artifacts from museums, and when I upload the video, it has like 20 views. And there's many videos like that. I mean, people can scroll through my channel, um, and you will see the videos from museums. They get very, very few views, and I feel like it's a waste because I'm like, dang, I spend the money on the flight. Sometimes I went abroad, driving, and was some expenses, for the hotel, for the for the entrance into the museum, and the time spent, and then I put it up, and it's like 20 views, 40 views, and I'm like, man. Mark Money wrote, man, don't let that discourage you. That's how I found you watching your short museum videos. Well, it's a good thing you said that. It's a good thing you said that. All right. Well, brothers and sisters, thank you for being there. We have 16 people online right now. It was a nice one. I'm very happy about this video. Anytime somebody's trying to talk slick, talk down to is trying to make fun of you, use some talking points like, thanks to Champollion, thanks to the Europeans, blah, blah, blah. You can say the first Egyptologist was an African Kemetic priest, according to two PhDs. That's nice. So other people have claims. They tell you, oh, we have several people. They're writing about it. They cannot tell you any names, any credentials. So that's a good thing. Um, the views will come, Star. I wrote a few pips to museum tours throughout the year in NYC. Hmm. Yes, I'm doing museum tours, and then they say that they bang on Kemetic people. So try to be selective with your tour guys, brothers and sisters. I don't want to say any names. I'm not looking for trouble because some people have a gangster uh, type of mentality. They want all the smoke and then they threaten to sue people over comments and videos. So, hey, to each his own. We will get some clarity, brothers and sisters. Stay safe, stay healthy, and if I'm allowed to by the Necheru, I will definitely holler back at you. And remember, I'm giving Medu Nature classes, so if you are interested, feel free to contact me. It's uh, $10. I was going to say 10 hours. It's $10 for an hour class. So I love teaching it. As a matter of fact, I had a class just before I went live. I really enjoy teaching it. So if you are interested, $10 for 1 hour class. Others charge $50 for a class. Others charge the equivalent of $60+ for one class. So it's very affordable. And you will actually hear a couple of testimonials in my outro. All right. Aya said that bro Jabari and bro Mfundishi are a few I know of. Well, it's fine. I never heard them banging on Kemetic people, so I'm fine with that. So stay safe, stay healthy, and if I'm allowed to, by the Neteru, I would definitely holler back at you. And once again, for the brothers and sisters who have supported me over the years, those who are supporting me now, and those who have made donations this evening and even in the last few days, I appreciate it. I really do appreciate it. I spent many years without having much support. So it's really nice to see that people really enjoy your work to the point of making a financial contribution. It does not go in vain, as you can see. I've been delivering for many years. So thank you. As we say in the Medu Necher, Dua.
Now, for the record, for those who don't know, I'm giving Medu Nature classes. And here, that's the flyer. Okay? So, those who are interested, feel free to holler at me. If you're not interested, it's cool. But I recommend that everybody who has not yet seen the video, Kemet and Ma'at, Before Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, then watch it. It has about 300,000 views and really deserves to have a lot more. I just want to let everyone know who's listening in now and who's going to listen to this stream in the future. I just had my first Meta Nature class by Brother Shaka today, and I've had other Meta Nature lessons by other teachers, and I can tell you right now, the brother is the best in the game. He is that was one of the best classes I've ever had ever. So if you're interested in learning the Meta Nature, if you're interested in getting the basics of it, Brother Shaka is an awesome teacher. Get with him, and it's extremely affordable. This brother is giving us his time and his skills, and he's basically giving it away. I mean, I just consider it a donation. You know what I'm saying? So if anybody's interested in learning the Meta Nature, get with this brother right here. He's an awesome, awesome, awesome teacher. And I'll end with that.
Hotep Senu, Hena Senut. This is Julie, also known as Servant of Yah, and I'm currently taking the Medu Neture classes with Brother Shaka, and it has been an amazing experience. Only 2 lessons so far, and I feel like I've been taking the classes for months, just with the how in depth he goes into the vocabulary words, the construction of the language, the grammar. It's been immeasurable, the experience. And one thing that comes across, hands down, is his extreme passion for teaching this to anyone who is willing to learn and has an interest in learning. So I highly suggest, if you are interested, even a minimal interest, that you subscribe to the classes with Brother Shaka. It's such a nominal amount for how much you get. I know, like, our last class was over 2.5 hours. It felt like 2 minutes, but because that's how, involved you are in what he's teaching and how he teaches and how compassionate he is about what he teaches. Also with sharing materials free of charge. No question, no doubt. It's just what he does. He doesn't have to, but he does. And so I just wanted to give a short testimonial about the class and the effectiveness of the class. And all of that is attested to how studied Brother Shaka is. So I highly recommend anyone with a minimal interest that you do sign up for the Medu Netia class. Hotep.
Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, which is Ma'at Forever. Don't forget to watch the video entitled Kemet and Ma'at. Don't forget to share Kemet and Ma'at on my channel on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, or other social media that you use. Email, text messages, you name it. Those who wish to donate can do so on paypal.me/ma'atforever.